Nobody likes to experience jealousy. However, almost all of us will eventually feel jealous, therefore it is unavoidable. The issue with envy is not that it occasionally surfaces, but rather what it can do to us if we can't control it. Experiencing what happens when we let our jealousy rule us or influence how we feel about ourselves and the world around us may be frightful. Because of this, a lot of aspects of our lives, such as our interpersonal relationships, employment, and personal objectives, depend on our ability to recognize where our jealous sentiments genuinely come from and how to cope with them in healthy, adaptive ways. In this video, we will discuss about how to overcome jealousy. Before starting, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. So let's start. So, why are we so jealous? Unsurprisingly, research has found a link between higher envy and worse self-esteem. Because it comes so easy to have self-critical thoughts about ourselves, many of us frequently are ignorant of the fundamental guilt that exists within us. That guilt from the past can significantly affect how jealous and insecure we feel right now, according to Dr. Lisa Firestone, author of Conquer Your Critical Inner Voice. The critical inner voice, as she and her father Dr. Robert Firestone characterize it, is a type of unfavorable self-talk. It feeds negative ideas and emotions, causing us to compare, assess, and judge ourselves. This is one of the reasons it's so crucial to learn how to handle jealousy. This voice can intensify our feelings of resentment by bombarding us with doubtful and critical remarks. In fact, it's frequently more difficult to deal with our critical inner voice's assessment of our position than the actual circumstance. Significantly, while being rejected or betrayed by a lover hurts, the negative things our inner critic says us about ourselves afterward typically hurts even more. You're such an idiot. Did you actually believe that you could simply be happy? You'll end up by yourself. Never again should you have faith in anyone. We'll take a closer look at two types of jealousy, romantic jealousy and competitive jealousy, to show how this internal enemy fuels our unfavorable thoughts regarding jealousy. Even though these two types of jealousy frequently overlap, looking at them separately might help us better understand how jealousy may be impacting many aspects of our lives and how to deal with it. Now let's discuss some ways to deal with jealousy. Number 1. Consider what's being stirred up. When we think back on specific events in our life, Daniel Siegel uses the acronym SIFT to express how we might sort through the sensations, images, feelings, and thoughts that surface. When we feel jealous, we ought to attempt to do precisely that. We can think about the feelings, thoughts, and images that jealousy elicits. Does the current situation bring up an ingrained memory, such as a family dynamic or an unfavorable self-perception? The more clearly we can understand our current circumstances, the more we can relate these feelings or overreactions to the earlier events that gave rise to them. Number 2. Calm down and stay vulnerable. No matter how envious we are, we may discover methods to soften and return to who we are. To start, we need to embrace our feelings compassionately. No matter how strongly we feel, keep in mind that emotions often travel through us in waves, first building and then dissipating. Without acting on our jealousy, we can accept and acknowledge it. Before reacting, we can acquire techniques to calm down, including taking a stroll or a series of deep breaths. Learning techniques to question our inner critic is crucial since it makes it much simpler to calm down in this way when we refuse to put up with or indulge in its irate words. When we do, we can defend our own interests and those of the people we love while maintaining an honest and open line of communication. Number 3. Don't act out. Our critical inner voice frequently advises us to make decisions that can end up doing us long-term harm. It could advise us to give up or stop pursuing our goals once it sends us spiraling into a jealousy mood. It might cause us to harm ourselves, lash out at someone we respect, or punish them. If we're in a relationship, it can advise us to lash out or ice our significant other. All we accomplish when we act in this way is to reproduce the situation we fear. We risk hurting and undermining our spouse's love for us and arousing their own suspicion and apprehension. We can unintentionally push them to close up and be less honest with their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which would then increase our sentiments of mistrust and resentment. Number 4. Seek our own sense of security. Focusing on feeling strong and confident inside of ourselves is the best thing we can do. To overcome our inner critic and feel that we can succeed even by ourselves, we must put in the necessary effort. To feel that we are lovable, we don't need the love of a single individual. Because of our inherent defects and limitations, no one can completely satisfy our needs. This is why developing self-compassion and learning to control our inner critic are so crucial. This does not imply excluding others or excluding ourselves from what we desire. In reality, it means fully embracing life while holding on to the conviction that we are resilient enough to fail or lose. We are capable of managing any emotions that may develop. Number 5. Stay competitive. Many people dislike the thought of competing, but what we're discussing here is a personal aim of being the best version of ourselves, not a goal of being the best. That entails being authentically oneself and embracing the traits that will help us achieve our goals. We can allow ourselves to feel inspired, to connect with who we want to be, and to take acts that move us in that direction rather than letting the green monster transform us into monsters. We must practice awareness and consideration in our relationships if we hope to earn the respect of people around us. We must make a commitment to acting lovingly every single day if we wish to experience our partner's love consistently. The effort to recognize and develop into our genuine selves is the most significant conflict we will face. If we can keep the will to act honorably and pursue our objectives, we succeed. Number 6. Talk about it. It's crucial to find the correct person to talk to in a constructive way to communicate our feelings when something like envy starts to rule our lives. We want to discuss our jealousy with individuals that encourage a good side of ourselves and who help us avoid dwelling on or delving more into our sorrows. We all have friends that tend to get a bit too stirred up when we bring up particular topics, and these may not be the best friends to turn to when we too are feeling provoked and agitated. We should look for people who will encourage us to continue on course and act in the ways we want to. Venting to these buddies is acceptable as long as we're aware that our exaggerated and unreasonable ideas and feelings are what we're doing. Only when it permits us to let go of the emotion and go on to take appropriate action does this process function. It's also important to seek a therapist's assistance if we are experiencing jealousy-related symptoms. By doing so, we may better understand and manage our emotions and respond in more healthy and flexible ways as a result. It's crucial to keep an open line of communication with our partner in a relationship. We must listen to what they have to say without getting defensive or jumping to conclusions if we want to earn their trust and for them to earn ours. This open channel of communication is not about dumping our insecurities on our spouse, but rather about allowing ourselves to be nice and connected, even when we are feeling insecure or envious. Naturally, doing so encourages our partner to follow suit. It goes without saying that handling the complex emotions associated with envy requires a certain level of emotional maturity. To confront our critical inner voice and all the insecurities it causes, we must be willing. Willpower is also required to take a step back and refrain from acting on our irrational, envious impulses. However, as we cultivate this power within ourselves, we become aware of how much more powerful we actually are. We improve our relationships and ourselves by understanding how to deal with envy. This is it for today's video. What do you think of our video? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more future updates. Thanks for watching.